Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a good August. I know I saw you all on July last. So I hope a lot of things have progressed and changed for the better. And today's topic is quite integral because many of you guys may have witnessed what you call a timeline shift within a quantum leap. So you may feel like your circumstances have quite changed quite rapidly. Hi, Karen. Good day to you. Guys, please say hi. Show me you guys are here before I delve right into the topic. As usual, so excited to see you all. Hi, Colin. So good to see you. Hi, Lorinda. Hey, thank you, gorgeous. All right. Wow. I see a lot of you guys. Hello, Henry. So lovely to see you as always. And hi, Kelly. Always lovely to see you too. So happy. Wow. There's 10 of you guys now. Hi, Paige. So let me know how you guys been feeling. Hi, Bharati. And Bharati says hi to everyone. Hi, Natasha. Um, how have you guys been feeling and doing this August? Feel free to share your experiences. Hi, Annalisa. Hi, Jasmine. And tell us, how has August been for you? Did you guys notice a big change, a shift? Do you feel much lighter or do you feel much heavier? Let us know what's going on. Or if not, I am going to delve right into this topic. Good morning, Temperance. All right, today we are going to talk about timeline jumping or timeline shifts. And often this happens when you least expect it. But that's what you would want to think, but a lot of things would actually pan up before such a timeline shift occurs. Oh dear, Kelly, heartburns, headaches, vertigo, and no, these are actually symptoms of a timeline jump. And I know you all may have mixed feelings about timeline shifts and jumps. It can happen for the better or it can happen for the not so good as well. So it all depends on where you are energetically, and energies are the key for timeline jumps and shifts. So often, a major event or like major ascension portals being open can trigger these timeline jumps. That's why it's very essential to always look into your energies and see how they are serving you. So let me delve back one step earlier. You may have always experienced this, timeline jumps occur all the time, and most of the time you guys probably don't even notice, and probably the symptoms you guys would think that it's just a flu symptom or something like that, but actually there's something more that happens. So you may, for example, you may feel like something happened, but when you check, it has not, and you're very sure that it happened, and you feel lapses in your memories. You just feel very confused, and that's why this topic gets even more complicated than that. Yes, body aches are part of that too. Hi, Twila. Hi, Belinda. Lauren, I'm staying in my own bubble. John is in an agitated state right now. Kelly and I have both been having disease. Oh, yes. This jump has been very intense. It happened last week, mid last week, and it has taken quite a toll. Guys, keep the questions coming. I'm just going to give it a minute or two before like more of you all join in. If not, I have to like repeat everything I say. Meanwhile, I'll just talk about the energies that has been taking place energetically. A big group of you would be feeling, oh, hi, MJ, so happy to see you. In fact, thank you so much, MJ. MJ and I have been like working, decided on this topic, and had a major discussion yesterday. And thanks to her, we are able to bring this wonderful topic to you at this time. So, my heartfelt gratitude goes to MJ and this beautiful group, where I'm able to um, share so many things, which is so crucial to the twin flame ascension process as well. Wow, so I feel like the majority of you guys have actually witnessed this timeline shift. In fact, you guys may have noticed yourself sleeping more than usual, feeling just really tired, and it's unlike you to even feel that way. Another major symptom is deja vu. You may just feel like, hey, I know this happened, like what I was just saying, but it isn't happening at all. So it's like the Matrix movie. What you guys are experiencing is like glitches in the Matrix. So I want to focus a bit more on the symptoms. So every time you see, timeline jumps are highly energy consuming, especially for the physical body. Even though a lot of that shift occurs up in higher dimensions, it essentially takes a toll on your human body. And often, most of the time, the shifts are good. Unless you're living out of alignment, there's some major work you have to do, and that's when you descend to a lower timeline, which some of you guys may experience here and there. So that's why there are like two groups. One group jumped into a better timeline, one group jumped into a lower timeline. And you guys may be feeling the change. And one of the clear distinctions would be a complete 360 turn in your divine masculine's behavior. So you may feel like you were so close to union and something happened. So that is actually a timeline jump to a lower timeline. But you guys have to understand that you can't view it in a bad way. Something within your energies actually anchored that timeline jump beyond your control, because energetically you guys were not ready for union yet. So this had to happen. You guys had to take a step back, jump a timeline down to re energize, work on your vibes, work on yourself, and get back to the zone. And that's why I want you guys to like take a moment and feel the energies around you. Feel what you guys are feeling. And from there, you'll be able to tell whether you have jumped into a better timeline or a not so good timeline. So, with a better timeline, you would be feeling internal blizzards of joy, unexpected opportunities. You may have not even been close to union yet, but you may suddenly feel like, hey, things are changing. My DM's energies have evolved. Like I literally feel like I've jumped into a better version of my current life. So I'll focus on the good timeline first. Like for those of you guys who have actually experienced the good timeline. And then I will talk about the not so good line jump. But right now we're all in the same timeline. And timeline jumping itself can be very, very, very confusing because the human mind, it's too complex for the human mind to actually decipher what is going on. And that's the reason why a lot of it happens with the physical body, because it takes a great toll on your physical body. So with the positive light timeline, you may feel renewed sense of hope, like miracles coming your way. You may feel like all of a sudden opportunities, like career opportunities may be coming your way. Life opportunities may be coming your way. Long lost friends would be getting in touch with you. You just know that you are vibing differently. And you know within that you guys are actually going to like reconnect. For those of you in separation, reconnect with your divine masculine, and you know that you have done something right within you to have actually anchored this new timeline. Count your blessings, keep praying to God, keep connecting to God. I know each one of you all have your own way to connecting with God, to connecting deep within. So use that. Always go back to your core, which is God, which is the point right within you that infiltrates all that is unnecessary, the veils of illusions, the multiple dimensions, the eternal dimensions that are there. And when you connect to that purest place within, you will realize a lot of things are actually changing in your life. One more thing is that the 8-8 Lion Gates portal has got a big effect on what has been happening of late as well. In fact, the 8-8 portal is the one of the core reasons this timeline jump was inspired. And what is very strange about this timeline jump is that the experiences that you guys may be experiencing are very peculiar. And our dear MJ shared a few experiences in the group. I'm not going to like pinpoint into like a particular experience or a particular scenario for privacy reasons, but I'm going to share some hypotheticals with you. In that way, we can get into context and you guys may not feel more confused than you guys already are. So, for example, you may have witnessed something, okay? Okay, like I will even share this example. A girl and a boy, they were on the verge of breaking up, and the girl has been talking to a friend for a long time. And suddenly, she calls yesterday and she shows her 4-month-old baby, and she's like, "This is my baby." And in the last one and a half years, she had no mention about the child at all. And these girls are like best friends. So this is a clear case of a quantum jump, actually. A timeline shift. A timeline shift for the better, because if you were to focus on the friend's timeline, you'll realize is that's what she really desired. Her whole life, she wanted that family. She wanted to work things out with her partner. And God willing, God's gift, she got the baby and she had finally had the opportunity to share it with a friend. So that is one dimensional viewing. But beyond, something more has happened. So in the previous timeline, she wasn't even supposed to have a baby, or none of this was supposed to happen. But in this new timeline, something glorious has happened. And this is what a lot of you guys have been experiencing as well. Some of you all are actually feeling extremely anxious about it. I'm going to read MJ's comment. There's going to be timeline shifts all the way till November. Beginning of November, there's another huge one. Yes, that is going to be major, guys. So if you guys keep working on yourself, keep connecting God, the next timeline shift is going to be even more better. And for those of you guys who have like jumped a timeline lower, will actually jump up. So that's why it's so important to keep working on yourself. So I'm going to like look at some questions and some comments here before I miss them like the last time. Catherine, hey Karen. Okay, you guys are talking to one another. Lorinda, thank you. You're blessed to have you share your wisdom. Belinda, I've slept so much this week. You see, a big sign of a timeline jump. Laura, oh, we are talking about timeline jumping and what it feels like, and what are the effects, and what are the different timelines one may find themselves in. Laura, hi everyone. Hope you're all well, Megan. Man, let me tell you all, the weather here at MD has been weird. We had wild storms in Baltimore, and I'm pretty sure a tornado touched down right near my station. We ran all day and night. Today it was nuts. Oh dear. Sending you all the love right there, Megan. That explains why I've been napping for hours, still sleeping a full 6 to 9 hours a night. Ah, Lorinda, achy joints, back pain, mild headache, dizzy spells, pressure in the third eye, minor skin irritation, bit of a sore throat, tired. Yes, all of this. In fact, you have like that checklist for a timeline jump symptoms. Yeah, a lot of you guys may have like experienced a sudden sickness, like your temperature rising, having a fever, all of a sudden. Not because it's very intense. If you guys have watched OA, you guys would understand that every time the characters actually go through a timeline shift, prior to that they go through a lot. In fact, what the TV show represents is the physical preparation the body has to go through before a jump. But for us, it just happens, it just happens according to. See, you have to first understand that the earth is an immense organism. It's a living thing. Earth is a living thing. And in the living thing, we are living things, right? And everything is connected energetically with electromagnetic grids, dimensional grids, so much. As an energy reader, I'm able to see this, and you will be able to actually foresee a lot of these shifts happening way before they happen. But for that, you guys have to operate from a very clear and pure place. If not, you're going to feel confused. And when I say clear, a place of clarity and divinity, is because anything else is going to mislead you on this journey. That's why clarity is so important. And clarity only comes from connecting with your core, which is God, divine, the universe, however you wish to call it and express it. When you master your connection with your core, things tend to shift in ways you will never imagine. Many, many years ago, when I was, exploring timeline shifts and paying more attention to my own jumping, I noted one thing. It is within you to jump to a timeline that favors you. And when you are actually rescinding or not doing the work in that timeline, you're shifted back into that not so good timeline. So it's in your responsibility to maintain the timeline shifts too. And that's why if you keep doing work, if you are always operating from that space of unconditional love, purity, you will notice that you will only good things would happen. Another core thing MJ and I spoke about is service to humanity. And often you guys, you see, it's always linked to soul purpose and soul missions as well. And as twin flames, once you guys are in alignment of your divine service, things transform. What actually causes people to descend is obsessiveness, being completely obsessed in that journey. That's what brings you guys down a notch in in the timelines, you see. And this is observed, for instance, obsessively uh, watching like YouTube videos about what is this, instead of like going down and working on your vibrations and your energies. You guys are always finding a way to distract yourself, and that is not the right way. I mean, you guys can choose to, because often one thing I've noticed with human beings is you guys learn the lesson first and then tend to tend to improve on it, so you guys go through that bad experience before jumping back on the right track. And, I'm a teacher and I want the best for you guys. So I'm operating from that space of guiding you guys, helping you gain as much clarity as you can on what is happening around you energetically. And that's why I'm not going deep into the science or the principles behind quantum jumping or timeline leaping. So timeline jumping is within quantum jumping, So within the quantum, you're having all these timeline shifts and movements. The core principle is you have to understand that there are so many timelines. You are existing in all the possibilities that are possible there. So, for example, so you may find some people actually find themselves in a completely different timeline to what they had been operating for many, many years. Often that doesn't happen, because the human soul can't bear it, and God only gives you what you can handle. So these timeline shifts happen. That is, so you may feel like it was impossible for union, like completely impossible for union. And all of a sudden, deep within something has changed. The energies of your DM has changed. You have changed. And this is going to anchor that very timeline that is going to present the life you desire. And when you actually feel that, that is a big clue that you're going to timeline jump. And when that happens, be prepared, be ready. Because every jump is highly exhausting, just like the OA. You may feel yourself in bed for days, sleeping for days, feeling fatigue in your veins, in your bones, in your entire being, fever, flu, lightheadedness, dizziness, making sense of your present reality, because everything will be the same. But yet, that this is not the timeline you guys were walking on. But you see, the human mind is so intelligent, so you will know whether the shift is a good one or a not so good one. Okay, I'm going to read the questions. I feel so many questions are coming in, guys. If I missed anything, please send it to me again. Megan, I think we shifted twice. We had that massive shakeup where it felt like all was lost on our progress, but now with Lion Gates approaching, I felt another shift, and my cards have been indicating it as well. They were saying one thing, and now they are reading again closer to the previous timeline. It's almost like it went from high to low, and now it's somewhere in the middle. It'll be interesting to see how the connection is between me and him this week in our tournament. Look forward to that. Things would change like massively, and so keep focusing on that, Megan. Sorry, I missed the first few. When did the time? Okay, the timeline shift happened around last week, like from from Wednesday. You might have felt like the effects of it. So the jump happened like a few days prior to that, but you would have been deeply feeling the shift since last week. Which again, the timing is like perfect with like the Lionsgate portal as well. All right, guys, keep the questions coming in. I know this is a deep topic, so if you guys have any like questions about the technicalities or anything that you want me to like go in a bit deeper, do not hesitate to ask. Like I say, this is a big space. This is a safe space. This is a space where we speak ideas, we speak experiences, we speak what is close to the heart as well. So you do not have to feel like you are holding back. So this is another question that MJ and I discussed about. Like, can you predict a timeline shift? And my answer to her was, you can only you can. One of the ways to predict it is energetically. Major shifts and changes. Example, you may have this like unsolvable like problem at work, or you may have been bullied, or you may have felt like justice was not served to you. But again, you have just been God centered, you have been praying to the divine, you have been allowing God to take care of it, and you have completely surrendered to the process. You will see a sudden change. Suddenly see that, hey, the bad people are moving away. Like, what is happening? You start like shaking your head, and you know that you are not the reason for it, it's just happening. Some may be very, very, very obvious as well. But again, good or bad. And that again goes to the energy. So the clue runs in the energies. So another interesting bit is, for example, especially with people, you may feel like, hey, I feel like I've like jumped into a not so good timeline because things were really going well between me and my divine masculine. Like, why must that happen to me? So that's when you have to go inward and focus. What was it that you were doing that probably made you jump a timeline lower? Vibrationally, were you like obsessing over that union process? Was there work that you still needed to work on? Were there issues that you still needed to clear? And you have to also understand like healing and learning is an ongoing process. You cannot have that fixed mindset. You have to constantly have the growth mindset. If you're stuck in a fixed mindset, there is going to be no change, no timeline jump, and nothing is going to happen. Growth mindset is what allows you to evolve at every single point. Some may have the arrogance that, oh, I have done all the healing. You guys, healing is not like a freaking, sorry for my words, healing is not a destination. Healing is an ongoing process. Every single day, there are new things that are happening that may require healing as well. So you have to look at healing in itself as a wholesome process. And you cannot look at enlightenment as a final destination either. People always have this thing. Once I hit union, final destination, we are going to be there. It doesn't work. Always remember, the soul is forever, guys. There is no end or beginning. Within the earth realms, there is end and being. Birth, rebirth, death, and go, and so on. Often, you guys are trapped or stuck in these mini holes of not able to progress in your journeys because you have stagnated the progress by having that ego or the arrogance that I've done a lot of work. Or you guys go into that self-pity mode, which is which is no matter how much work I've done, nothing is changing or happening. Expectations. Having expectations is good, but having expectations and having attachment towards it is not very good. That's when you actually affect it energetically. See, even with like law of attraction and manifestation, they always say that have that desire, but do not get obsessed or attached over it. Let it go. Let it go to the universe, and you keep doing what you got to do. And this has been told for centuries and generations. And from the Emerald Tablet to like the Vedic text to all the holy books in our world, all of this knowledge, this hidden knowledge, has been written. And the reason why it was hidden is because, our ancestors had a way of masking things, but all of it is coming out. And now everything is stored within. It's no more external. You don't look for information in an emerald tablet. You have information within yourself. And timeline shifts is a daily occurrence. It's happening in levels you probably never even experience, but it is happening. We have hit like 30 minutes, so I'm just going to drink some water, take a break, and look at your questions before I go into like my third part of my discourse. I'm always running out of water. You guys may find yourself like drinking a lot of water too. Okay, how could you have survived the jump? Yeah, this is like hacking the matrix, and I'll teach you guys this technique. In order to survive the jump or control where you're jumping into, pay, pay attention to your energies closely. Where are you at? How are you dealing? Are you being egotistical? Are you being arrogant when things are going better? Or are you being cool, calm, and grounded? So if you're cool, calm, and grounded, you will keep ascending to a better timeline, or you'll be fixed in your present timeline and you would survive this jump. So when I mean surviving this jump, you being in a better situation or the same situation that is actually good for you. But if you are not in the situation or things suddenly go haywire, then you must that's when the next time you guys are jumping, anchor into a timeline where you are aligned energetic, because alignment and energies can't lie. You cannot like cut and paste good energies into you. It has to come from within, because you are the generator of these energies. And that's why from time to time, why do people keep attracting abundance, for example? Why do keep people keep living their best lives or wholesome lives, or lives with their twin flames or their divine partner? And how are they able to maintain this? And all these questions would keep flowing through your head like, how? Because they've understood how energies work, not in a literal way, but a level higher than that. They know how these energies shape their reality, and they actually kind of organize it according to what they wish to see. So I'm going to take you guys into another step. So we are living within a matrix. So Earth has always been a fifth dimensional planet. But then when the intergalaxy wars took place long ago, the not so good side took over this planet. So the good energies had to kind of place a matrix within the matrix to rebalance the energies. So you are actually in a dream within a dream. Just like the movie Inception, for instance. Okay, do you remember how you got here, for instance? And this is one of the key questions in the movie Inception. You know you're not in reality when you don't know how you got here. So, same thing, being in a dream within a dream, when you have complete control of your dream, just like the movie Inception, you're able to affect changes and live life according to how you desire it to be. And most of us here are star seeds on a twin flame journey, highly advanced missions, confidential missions. So sometimes you may feel like, why am I not receiving the information I need to receive at the right time? For some, timeline shifts are related to their missions as well. So don't beat yourself up, dude. If you're jumping a few timelines and it's not going according to plan. For the others, most of the time, you guys tend to do certain things that affect the timeline jump as well. Okay, I'm going to read some questions. Tammy, I feel amazing. That does not mean I'm missing the 8-8 portal. Synchronization everywhere, and I'm hearing my DM thoughts. I pray so hard. This means we are close to union. By the way, Vaich is how I got to this amazing place. She's the best TF coach channeler ever. Oh, Tammy, thank you so much. That touches my heart. Like, thank you so much, guys. I'm so grateful to your kind words, and I'm always humbled and inspired. And in fact, when you guys share with me heartfelt words like this, it really makes me want to keep doing a better job and giving you guys the best that is out there, because ultimately the group and me, our interests are helping you live the best version of yourself. And living the best version of yourself is so essential. And sometimes it's okay, you don't have to feel bad like for being egocentric or for being arrogant. Sometimes it just happens. You guys get carried away with a lot that's happening. And sometimes you may feel like, hey, and I've also spoken about this before. There are many, many mini unions and separations before there are more stable unions. And that is life itself. Even in a marriage, a couple has to work hard on it every day for that relationship to sustain. And the reason why it ends up in the courts, in divorce, and me having done a lot of divorce cases, is one thing is, over the years, there were a lot of things that were not said, left untold, not done, or not maintained. How you treated your spouse when you first met to how you're treating your spouse 10 years later changes. Some is due to the evolution of the connection, but some is just, what do you call that? Taking it for granted. And that's why it ends up going down the drain, because you guys realize that, damn, this is not working. The person I married has changed. So that's why changing for good and changing for the bad are two different things. I'm going to read more comments. And guys, if I'd missed out, because I can only read a limited amount of comments here. So, guys, post it again. Laura Allen, such a thing. My friend said clarity is the keyword with this shift about 3 hours ago on our call. And that's what I've been saying as well in my video. Clarity is key. All right. Just reading some comments, and I'll see if there's some comments that want to share. Lilia, I'm back to focusing on myself and giving to myself. I had two career opportunities presented to me. I didn't get an offer for one, and I have a fourth interview for the other. I've not been having physical symptoms other than fatigue. Fatigue is a big part of timeline shifts and jumps. Laura, can I ask? I feel I've jumped higher. I've never felt more sure of myself, my journey, my gifts. A weight has been lifted to understand so much of my DM's behavior. I feel no need to react. His actions are no longer attached to someone that triggers me. I'm like, wow, I don't feel compelled to react. Again, guys, I've been teaching you, instead of reacting, respond. That's the purest form of energy of responding, because reaction is based on past memories, past responses, but responding is based on what is happening at present. Sorry to sidetrack. I just needed to remind you guys of that. I feel unconditional. Okay, this is I'm reading out Laura's comment. I feel unconditional love for myself and him, and I keep my distance and no communication for now. But I feel his behavior is getting worse now. Can he go lower and I go higher, or is he playing out something? I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Ah, that is a very good question that you raised. So, you may feel like you've jumped higher, but the moment you say that his behavior is changed, you may have actually not jumped into a higher timeline. You're trying to persuade yourself that you have jumped to a higher timeline, but there's something within you that probably needs some work. So, if you keep working on yourself, you will jump back into that best timeline where you're both balanced. So you can't really see it that way. One person is in a lower timeline, one person is in a higher timeline. From your perspective, if what you desire is in alignment with what you wish, then you have jumped a higher timeline. If not, you may have jumped a timeline that is. Lorinda, so the timelines at parallel lives goes hand in hand. Are we jumping into a parallel life? Jumping happens too. Rare cases, but they do. Often it's like, in the past when they used to do cartoons, you have like 1,000 images and you flip through it, and that's what causes movement. Exactly, there are so many million versions of ourselves living out all the different choices that we are living out. Often, sometimes, people really want to anchor a certain desire of theirs. They keep trying, and they, you see, that's why connect back to your core, connect back to God. I can't say this more. When you connect back to God, you come from a place of clarity and you will always be guided to the highest timelines and manifestations. That is the true secret. And of course, I'm teaching you guys energetically as well. I'm starting to feel like I'm in an episode of Rick and Oh, guys, I've been trying to like make it less science so that it's more understandable for you guys. So I'm trying to teach you guys in the simplest way as possible, and ensure that you guys are not confused at the end of my live channeling as well. Ro, this Ro, hi Ro. This may explain what I've been feeling and experiencing. Not sure if this is what has happened to me. Okay, bro, at the start of the video, I was actually experiencing every time a timeline shift happens, you will feel a lot of fatigue, tiredness. You will find yourself sleeping more than usual. You may also feel extremely like bodily aches because timeline jumps require a lot of energies. And one example is OA. Every time they jump, they have to prepare as well. So all these preparation prepares all this preparation is actually happening. you know and the thing is, in reality, everything happens so quickly. For example, you may find yourself like sleeping for like 12 hours straight, and you are the sort that always only sleeps for 7 to 8 hours a night. And suddenly you find yourself sleeping and sleeping and sleeping, feeling bolts of bliss, feeling extremely energized. All of a sudden, you have a friend coming to you and saying that, hey, there's an opening in my work, like you want to apply. Then suddenly you feel like your DM is like traveling, but you feel like he's coming back to you. Somehow you get signs of communications indirectly or directly, and you feel like you guys are going to meet soon. Suddenly you feel like in the previous timeline, this was not going to happen, but right now this is happening. Obi is here. Obi is our another expert in like timeline jumping, and she's sending her love to you all. And we'll have to team up for one of these sometimes. Absolutely, Obi. Given we both got a lot of experience jumping, exactly. And it's definitely, Obi. We will definitely do a joint live sometime. So excited. Right now, with the major timeline jump that has happened, for those who have jumped into a good timeline, good for you guys. In order to maintain it, go back to your core, connect to God. Also, I did touch on it a bit. A core part of it is actually your mission. Sometimes you feel like doing a bit of charity work is serving a full. Again, you can't really quantify your service to humanity. Service to humanity is the way you are, the way you act. So, in the ancient Indian texts, they have like 5 parts to enlightenment: unconditional love, bhakti yoga, mantra yoga, like physical yoga, which is like through dance and all that. All these ways are pathways to know God, to, to, to attain enlightenment. And a lot of our ascended masters, like Mother Teresa, Paramahansa Yogananda, for instance, they have all taken the path of unconditional love. And that is the most beautiful path. When you operate from that space where your life becomes service, everything will fall in alignment. And service doesn't mean you have to go down to an old folks' home and help out. You can go to an old folks' home and help out. You can also do a lot of things around your community. Your neighbor may be struggling. Someone close to you may be struggling who needs help. You can you can be humane in so many ways. You can add on to the massive humanity, not just financially, but in many other ways. You can be part of projects that uplifts humanity. You can do a lot of things. These things really help you stabilize timeline shifts as well, because when you are so focused and mission centered, everything will fall in place. See, often a lot of things tend to go up and down, and you sometimes you may keep finding yourself in old patterns, or you feel like, why does this have to happen again? Why am I going through the dark night of the soul again? Why am I going through separation again? Why? You're asking this all externally. Good. Ask yourself, why is this happening? What have you done? Think about how you have acted in the last couple of weeks without judgment. See, often when I say this, you guys will go into like major judgment mode, and like start thinking, oh, did I do this wrong? Did I do that wrong? No. Just want you to observe energetically how things have gone for you in the last couple of weeks prior to this major timeline jump. And there the secret lies. Belinda, we never stop having to heal. It's a lifelong. Megan, yeah, I never. I never, but once in a while it does come across. I use freaking, guys. I never use, at most I would use the F word in a different way. All right. This is amazing. Hey, guys, show me that you are here. Give me some reaction, some hearts, so that I know that you guys. But today we have a great group joining in. And that's why I'm trying to make this as simplified as possible. So I'm going to go through it step by step. But before that, I want you guys to take another moment and like breathe, and relax, because the information that you're receiving is highly intense. So this in itself is a kind of transmission. So I want you guys to like really take this time to breathe in, to anchor back to your core, to the place of God, to the place of divine. And from there, I want you to feel. How do you feel? Do you feel like you've jumped a better timeline? Do you feel like there's no change? Or do you feel like you've descended to a not so good timeline? Probably got your answer. Intuitively, you know. Number two, how are your circumstances? What has changed in your life in the last week or so? Who are the people around you? Are friends of the past who have really empowered you coming back? Or do you feel like you're being dragged down into a not so pleasant space? Another example MJ and I were talking about is that this person, hypothetically, this person is a big light worker. She's been doing so much work over the years. But there's something there that is not allowing her to like unite with the DM, And MJ and I were talking about this, what could it be? So she's probably not balanced with her light work, She's probably focused on one area, but not holistically balancing herself. So that's why it's so important to be complete and ever evolving and holistic as well, rather than just focusing on one aspect. Like sometimes there's over obsessiveness on I'm healing, I'm on this path, or I'm like, again, you guys have to remove that notion of destination. Wow, there's so many questions coming in, and I'm lacking water. Oh boy, I really wish that I could. I really, 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 really wish that I could explain this timeline shift topic to you in a much more simpler way. But I feel like you guys understand. Megan, just like Rick always said, infinite timelines within infinite possibilities, the multiverse. Exactly. And if you guys notice, there are a lot of Marvel movies of late, like Doctor Strange, that actually focuses on multiple timelines. In fact, I want you guys to do something very practical. Take a piece of paper. I want you guys to go into a pure state of mind which is going to be hard, but try your best and write down all your desires, what you want to see with your divine masculine, and how you want your life to go. And then take that piece of paper and place it under your pillow and sleep through it for a week. And let me know next week how you guys feel. Because this is one of those practical ways to actually rebalance your energies and anchor a much more positive timeline. Okay, now is question time. So many. Yeah, respond, don't react. Oh dear, Becca, your court date has changed 3 times. Wow. I want to actually read out that comment, but somehow, again, I'm limited here. Let me see if I can do it through my phone. I just knew, guys, this was going to go on like for a while, and okay, I'm going to see. Okay, through here if I can miss. Oh, overview, live chat. Oh, Amy, my person is starting a new job. A while back, my car broke, so my person fixed it. He fixed it for me. He had to return the product that didn't work. My phone ended up, he said he doesn't want, but that he knows he has to since I'm so proud. Oh, that's great. Okay, guys, Becca, the truth will come out. Trust and believe. I've been suffering for years by my ex-husband's manipulation of my daughters, but they are now 12 and 10 developing their own independent opinions, and they're realizing the truth why I left and what really happened. My messenger is open if you guys want to chat. Oh, Megan is replying to Becca. All right, guys. Sometimes you guys are talking within. So I'm going to like try to sift out those comments and actually respond to those who are actually talking to me. Melanie, this timeline feels extra emotional. I went out to get a grounding crystal today. Oh, Melanie, yes, this timeline shift has been extra emotional for a lot of people. You may find yourself releasing a lot that's not serving you. Another thing is, you may feel itchiness on your nose. That is a sign of timeline jumping as well. Also, ringing in your ears. Every time you jump, you would actually feel ringing in your ears. That's another physical jump. And OA had actually highlighted that because one of the travelers would actually say that ringing comes from jumping. See, what my objective today is, I want you guys, the next time you jump, to jump with awareness so that you are in control of the timeline you're jumping into and not being like sidetracked or getting lost in a timeline that you do not want to. So that's what I'm preparing you guys. And that is the objective. Rather than going into the technicalities, which I did, which I am as well, I want you prior to a timeline shift. MJ and I mean, MJ has said as well, November, there's another major one. Prior to it, I want you to like refocus on your energies. See where you are out of alignment, where you're in alignment, and slowly anchor what you want and then jump accordingly. I know it's not as easy as said, but me and Obi, a lot of us have been doing timeline jumping for a very long time, and it's part of our starseed stuff and all that. And from experience, one thing I can say is many things are within your control. You tend to give up your control due to fear and lower states of vibration. And that happens because, again, you are on earth, a dream within a dream, and in a matrix. And it's so easy. Everything that happens in life is a contract. And from the day you're born, you're contracted to so many things. From every product you buy, from even like taking public transport, everything is a contract. Even buying something from the supermarket is like a contract. Everything. And if you go deeply into it, there is a choice for every one of our actions. So you may often say that, oh no, the world is controlling me, I have to do this thing. But you can still make choices within the matrix and live in alignment and live your full life. See, this is like your tower bulb moment, like You'd be like, hey, yes, within the matrix, how can I live an empowered life? So some may go into extreme. I'm going to live off the grid. I'm going to like, but guys, on earth, everyone is dependent on one another because we are living this massive illusion. And within the illusion, we need to help one another to actually come out of the illusion. But of course, like the Matrix movie, some of us always get out, but some of us get stuck within. But some of us will keep going back in again to help the ones who are stuck. So you guys always have to remember. That's why I know I keep saying this, and MJ keeps saying this, and all of our admins and moderators keep saying this as well. Connect back to God. The secret lies in your connection with God, guys. If you guys choose to walk away from your origins, you guys are going to be lost for longer. And that's okay too. If that is the experience you choose, that's fine as well. But if your core is beating to be with your twin flame, to actually ascend to the next stage of life, or to actually wake up from this dream and wake up again from the dream within the dream and go back to where you came from, you have to really evolve from within. And that's why all of my courses, which I give every week, is not for the faint hearted. It's for people who are willing to see beyond what you guys have learned your whole life, to operate from a place of unconditional love and not allow your ego or your limiting beliefs to come in and cause you more duress. Another big part is being obsessed with union. Guys, you guys are never separated to begin with. So why the obsession with union? You guys are one. Just separate in physical bodies, and that was one of those things that you signed up for as well, to actually experience life this way. Think about what you're doing now. By obsessing, you're actually pushing away. See, a lot of times your divine masculine runs not because they want to cause you hurt. They run with a heavy heart because their intention is for you to actually become the best version of yourself, to become independent and not needy and dependent of his energies. A lot of divine feminines in the early stages, they go cuckoo, they go crazy. Like, that's when I did a video about the wounded feminine, toxic feminine. You guys want to learn more about that, please go. I did it 2 weeks ago. All these things affect timeline jumps. So guys, any more questions? I see a lot of conversations happening within conversations. Kelly, I feel good, creative, besides the headache and not sleeping. Yes. So the physical fatigue has happened to regardless. A good timeline jump or a not good timeline jump, you would feel that. But with a good timeline jump, like what Kelly says, you feel good, you feel creative, you feel like a lot of opportunities are coming your way. You feel more hope, you feel more centered, you feel more in alignment and authentic to yourself. With the not so good timeline, you may feel like you have descended a step down, but that's okay too because you can always ascend up. Because timeline shifts are happening all the time, and with this 8-8 portal, all the more. If you align, and that's why MJ has been talking about this for weeks. This is your time to communicate with your higher self and your DM's higher self and to anchor the timeline you desire. Yes, Samantha, I completely agree. The exhaustion this week has been off the charts, like totally. Like, even I found myself like sleeping more than I usually would, and that tiredness, and like, this week has been insane. I completely agree. I know a lot of you guys have joined in today, more than our usual crowd. If you're confused, just watch a few episodes of Rick and Morty. Yes, do so. If that, I hope that doesn't confuse you more. Melanie, you're right. Loads of frequencies in my ear this year. And I was just sharing with you guys, you'll feel a lot of ringing. Ringing is a sign of downloads from the universe, also a sign of timeline jump. Physically, you may also feel like your body is different. It's almost the same, but something is different. You just know when you have experienced a timeline jump. Yes, Laura. Amy, I've had so much ringing. I have to leave work because I was so anxious and just emotional. I felt better after resting. Henry, oh, I noticed a lot of ringing in my ear this last week. And oh, yeah, the nose itching. For years, my nose has been itching, like since I was young. And I always wondered what was the connection finally. You may also feel extremely lightheaded, even a little tipsy. But most importantly, you'll feel much stronger and enlivened. And remember, every timeline jump strengthens you, and it's all for the good. Belinda, I feel like I've had a good timeline jump. I'm closer to God and surrender and about to start a course to study to be a counselor, which I've dreamt of my whole life, and I believe it's my mission. That's wonderful, Belinda. So much in alignment. That is great. Yes, Lily, everything will go well with this job. Karen, saw my DM Eric this for anything I need to hear. Everything will be well. That's what you need to hear. Everything will go well and keep being you. Okay, guys, I realize it's past an hour. If you guys have any more questions that is related to timeline shifts, timeline jumps, quantum jumps, please let me know. I would love to re explain it again to you guys. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes and then we're going to wrap up today's show. Okay, summarizing. So you may feel like you're living your best life, you're doing everything in alignment, yet you're not manifesting your DM. And you're wondering what is happening with the timeline shift. Look at it this way, like every time there is something that you're lacking or not doing. So you may be doing amazing service, but you may need to, you might just be focused on one end and not holistically. So that's one of those things. So, again, I'm going to talk a bit more about the not so good timeline. So, for those of you who feel like you have jumped a timeline that is not really in alignment with your desires or wishes, I want you to focus on the last few weeks. Like, what were the things that happened? And what probably took a turn? And why are you in this timeline? And how can you re jump back? Because you have got the 8-8 portal and November, that's a major moment. And for those of you who have jumped a good timeline, how are you going to maintain this jump and ensure that, again, back to your energies, keep doing what you're doing because you're doing something right. That's why you've jumped a good timeline. So that is the clue. And you may even jump a better timeline as well. So keep doing it. So, guys, do you guys have any more questions before I let you guys go? Hi, Bella Bella. No worries at all. Yes, Han. He's still deciding, but you will get to know about it soon. All right. Ah, Lorinda, Lionsgate, lots of car accidents. Oh dear, oh dear. Yes, there seems to be quite a lot that's happening. Okay, I think I've covered most questions. If you guys have any questions that I might miss, just place it below. Okay, with timeline jumps, extreme exhaustion is like it's like as though you have traveled. You will feel like jet lag. You know, every time you get on a plane, like if you travel for like you get on an 18-hour flight, or if you are traveling a whole day, you feel jet lag, right? So timeline jumping is the same as well. You will feel like jet lag and you haven't traveled at all. So it's literally like normal traveling, but you have traveled because your soul has literally jumped into another timeline, another body. So that's what has happened. So it's not like the energies in the air, it's like one level up. Especially with like jet lag, it's something very different. So it's like jet lag. This is like timeline lag. Oh, thank you so much, Ro. Natasha, is there anything that you see that I need to do specifically? It's good that you're recognizing where you are because a lot of people don't even recognize that they have jumped into a not so good timeline. Work on yourself, keep connecting to your core, keep connecting to divine, keep going within, keep praying to God, focus on your soul purpose and mission. Some of you may be like, I may be lost. I do private readings as well. If you guys need anything, feel free to book. Can always customize a reading or healing. Can always book me. I do specialize on star seeds, soul missions, twin flames, guidance, consultation, psychic reading, soul reports. You may want to get one of that. I'm actually having a promo. Um, so if you need like private advice, you guys can always DM and book me for a session or a reading. I've been offering the option of doing a lot of my readings through live video as well. So in that way, you guys can ask me questions. But also, I'm going to like answer some of the questions here so that so back to Natasha's question. So in order to jump to a positive timeline, you have, like I said from the start of the video, the clue lies in your energies. It is energy focused, it's energy driven, it's all in the energies. So if you are able to shape back your energies into a positive way, which means you're vibrating higher, you can anchor back a more positive timeline. You're most welcome, Amy. Okay, timeline shifts tend to happen ongoing. There are major timeline shifts and there are minor ones. Oh, thank you so much, Belinda. The live readings are amazing. I recommend to everyone who needs some guidance. Oh, what a lovely life. Thanks for it. Now I know I'm not the only one who has slept so much and felt so tired, itchy nose, actually very frequently, as like you, Vash, and the years. Oh, and my irritated skin. Yes, we all got this, everyone. And you may have also noticed this week, like, passed really quickly. It would have been Monday, and now you are like, it's Saturday night and Sunday for a lot of us. Lorinda, Vaishnavi Padya does wonderful channelings. You will not be disappointed. The one-on-one video chats are amazing. Oh, thank you so much, guys. You guys are lovely. I love you all so much. Karen, not sure if this was a jump, but I was unable to sleep one night after being sick for 5 days. Was in bed and felt like things slowed down and then speed up again. Yes, it does feel like a jump on a subtle level, but you have to figure out whether it's a good jump or a not so good jump. I'm just seeing. Okay, I think I have covered most of your questions. Thank you all for joining in this beautiful live. I will come up again with another wonderful live. Thanks, MJ, for your love and support and the group. You guys are wonderful. All of you members are amazing. I love you all so much. If you guys anything, DM me for a private read. And guys, hang in there. Timeline shifts are not scary. Everything happens, the universe is beautiful. And today we have talked about some things that are quite intense. But guys, remember when you operate from your core and connect with God, and like I was talking about the core, which is within, when you connect back to your core, remember that you will feel clarity because core is where you are from. That's why it's so important to connect back to where you come from, your origins. Yeah, that's why I would recommend a soul report as well, guys. All right, guys. See you all and take care. Good night, Lorinda. Oh, thank you for everything you do. I love you all. I love you all too. And I would say this again and again. You guys have formed such an amazing community. In fact, a community within a community, which means that all of you regulars who join me on this live have been supporting each other. You guys are amazing. Love you all. And thank you guys again. And if you have enjoyed today's live, feel free to write a review. I'll be very grateful to that. And thank you again, Samantha. Love these lives. Always so great to learn more and make sense with what's happening. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Bye, everyone. All right. Bye bye.